In August 1907, the White Star Line had begun construction on a brand new vessel named the Gigantic. This ship had been planned as a weighted feat to Kunar Line's Lusitania and Mauritania. The R.M.S. Gigantic would take around 5 years to complete. Construction was originally meant to take 3 years, but due to lack of funding and resources, after the White Star Line had finished construction on 2 triple funnel liners, Titanic and Olympic. Due to this, an additional 2 years were added. The R.M.S. Gigantic was completed in May of 1912. Her launch had been pushed back an additional year until 1913 due to the loss of the R.M.S. Titanic in April of that year. In May 1913, the R.M.S. Gigantic would be launched from the Harlan and Wolff shipyard, with the yard number 433. During the launch, there would be over 60,000 onlookers watching as the massive Gigantic would be launched. In February 1914, the R.M.S. Gigantic would leave Southampton for her maiden voyage. The Gigantic would follow the same route where her smaller sister ship, Titanic, had sailed when she had sunk. The R.M.S. Gigantic would reach New York in under a week, carrying 5,043 passengers. This had been a huge milestone for the White Star Line, as they had beat out the Cunard Line with this massive liner. In July of 1914, the outbreak of the First World War would occur. This would result in the White Star Line taking the Gigantic out of passenger service for it to become a troop transport ship. The Gigantic would serve as a troop transport ship until 1916, where she would be converted into a hospital ship for the remainder of the First World War. After serving a normal civilian career for the past 10 years, the R.M.S. Gigantic would be at risk of scrapping. In 1929, most countries around the world would fall into the Great Depression. This would be an extremely tough time for the White Star Line and its rival Cunard Line, as both lines had to scrap some of their biggest ships, Olympic, Mauritania, and Lusitania. However, the R.M.S. Gigantic would be on the edge of joining the Olympic in the scrapyard, but the decision to keep her was made as a way to compete with the Cunard Line's Aquitania. The early morning of December 7th, 1934, the R.M.S. Gigantic would sail through thick fog. Due to the fog, the R.M.S. Gigantic would collide with rocks on its starboard side, leaving a massive hole. Eventually, the Gigantic would begin to sink from its bow around 5 minutes after hitting the rock. Due to the thick fog, the Gigantic was not able to get any help as no other vessels were able to see the ship. The Gigantic would sink around 15 minutes. Unfortunately, 2,460 passengers and crew would be lost. And that, folks, is my custom timeline for the R.M.S. Gigantic. If you want me to do any other ship, just let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. It's free and you can always undo it later.